That corner has recently been full of cartons like this, full of boxes like those. We are down to those 7 that did not fit in a particular carton, so they'll go in a carton all by themselves for the trip to Atlantic, and then onto the processing center. And meanwhile, I'm packing up gift-in-kind stuff, trying to get that sorted through and put together in a logical way so that the processing center has an easy time working with it. Okay, boys and girls, for our story time today, we're going to look at how these shoeboxes that y'all lovingly filled get from us to the kids that we're sending them to. These cartons are filled with the extra stuff, they call it gift in kind, stuff that didn't make it into our shoeboxes. I've listed things there, so hopefully it's easier for them at the processing center. They will use these to fill up shoeboxes that didn't get quite full enough because we want them fun, full, and personalized. And so our day begins. You can see that Charlie has taken out the last carton full of boxes, and the first carton of gift in kind. That's our second box of gift in kind. You absolutely know Charlie's up because he made me coffee. These are going into a tote just for easier carrying so they're not sliding around in a box. Got some eggs to go to a lady this afternoon. Charlie has brought in the drop-off sign. Still got maybe, I don't know, an hour till we leave. And there's the beginning of our day. Just as a side note, 7 totes of stuff got sorted through. 2 of them were about like that shallow purple handled tote over there, but 5 of them were about like that, and all that got sorted and consolidated into those 2 boxes that I've shown you the tops of. So there you have it. Just takes packing tightly, and those will all go, if I haven't said this elsewhere, those gift in kind things, that's whatever products we had left over, whether it was something that we had made or lots and lots of store-bought things like coloring books, school paper, things like that. We thought we were going to have a bunch of pencils left over, and then it's like, nope, these boxes need them. Oh, got some combs? Nope, these need them. Well, I ended up picking up more combs, so there are combs in there. But, you know, that's kind of how that goes at the end. You're going, toothbrushes. Go grab more toothbrushes. Well, then you have toothbrushes that end up, in gift in kind. And I don't think we actually ended up with any of those. I think we came out like maybe 1 or 2 boxes short, and it was already, evening, and we were out here instead of near a store. So those kinds of things come up at the end, and you just pray that somebody at the processing center going through and notices, hey, that one wants a toothbrush, and that somebody has sent a bundle of extras. So, that's what we do. Last year we did send some toothbrushes, this year not. But those are the for instance things. Actually did keep a list just for our own knowledge of what we ended up sending in the gift in kind box. Trying to think what else I was going to say here. So there's coloring books and paper and filler items and some foam footballs and so on. Just a lot of odds and ends like that, and those will go into boxes at the processing center as they go through them, and they pull out any funds that some of you all have put inside of a box, and that's one of the options in the instructions. So any of those funds, that's where they get pulled out, and there's people there authorized to count it up, get it in the right place, get it in the right accounts, and send your box on down the line for, to be looked over, make sure there's nothing that wouldn't clear customs, make sure that it's absolutely as full as it can be, all those little filler items that they can put in. If occasionally we have seen a box that was just like a lot of important stuff, but, hygiene and school stuff and nothing that we would call a wow item. And so sometimes people will just literally send a lot of wow items for gift in kind, buy it for that purpose. So those get filled in. Whatever is needed, that's what they do there at the processing center. And at every step of the way, the boxes are prayed over. So that's where your gift in kind stuff is going. And this carton, is ready to go get in the trailer. And Charlie has just come in, so that will be happening at a trailer near you soon. So this is what a good portion of our day will probably look like. Got a serious system overhead, I guess you would say, and so it may just be drizzly on us the whole way to Atlantic, but the boxes are on their way. They are all nicely tucked inside of Pastor Bob's borrowed nice dry trailer. Nothing's going in the pickup bed today. Charlie rescuing one of our signs. We did leave the gate sign just so it would drip dry, but shouldn't be anybody coming today that didn't already read the schedule and so forth, because we are past the hours listed that would be, in the same place they'd be looking for directions. So here we are on the next leg of our journey, and this looks a little bit better, although the rain is still coming down. We've got nice smooth road that the county has been out, or somebody. No, this would be state. Yeah, this is state, because we're on 148.
Resurfaced this road after millennia.
Right, but hey, it is getting resurfaced, and this part of it is done.
It's done all the way up there.
Right, but they're working south. So, and we are facing north because we're going north and then west to Atlantic. And look, we have a guest traveler with us. Krista has joined us. I caught her with her mouth full. That's okay, I'm catching Charlie with his mouth full too.
Which is normal.
So, yeah, AKA Kermit, because, yeah, and you hear how much she's not talking. So she's kind of squeaking and Kermiting over there. So at any rate, this is the next leg of our journey with our shoeboxes. This next segment is at the Central Drop location at Atlantic Gospel Chapel. Last year they had about half a dozen volunteers that showed up, maybe from a Hispanic congregation. We really don't know even how they heard about us. But they showed up, worked, and left, and were such a blessing. This year we didn't see them when we were there, so it was mostly us older folks just bantering and getting stuff done. Then there's a little bit of the bookkeeping side of things. I really didn't edit or clean up these clips much, just pulled them together so that you could see what our day looked like in real time, so to speak. We are arriving at Atlantic Gospel Chapel, and I would surmise this fella might be coming to see us. So 517 gospel opportunities and 2 cartons full of gift in kind in here. And a little bit of feed that we picked up on the way. They won't let us send chicken feed. I don't know why.
I had to make a stop. I didn't think I was going to get down there, and I would have put it in the bed of the pickup. But
so very definitely could have room for growth.
Okay, now where on that boxes is that supposed to go?
For gift in kind.
On the top or the side. It doesn't make any difference.
Which side?
Well, where do you? Well, if it's on the side, you'll see it probably better, depending on how you load it in there.
Don't cover up. It'll be loaded into the back.
So,
Okay, first Azelda'sLegacy carton getting loaded. And those filler items will go sit inside until
Okay, yeah.
They need to
till
okay.
we're done with
We've got
that.
a couple, we still got a carton, so.
Yep.
Just put that on there and then.
So, yeah, if you just...
So those will get into a carton with some other
You
strays.
can take that, and that's yours. That's yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that anyway.
And then,
Well, you said you had 6 or 7, Kim. Ha ha ha.
in the Bachuto cup there. There we go.
Go for it.
Perfect, thank you.
I did a little bit of.
Oh, excuse me, Kim, sorry. It kind of. Oh.
You can't pull on that tote. I did a little bit of delivery work before I ever got my CDL.
That one guy was really good. He could lift it. He was pretty big guy.
Between 38 and 45 pounds. We'll see if I can do it. My shoulders haven't had surgery. It's still healing better. It's, you know what? I have to do. So, okay, you want them on the outside?
Yeah, please.
Put them all. That's perfect the way we're handling them. No, what I'm saying is, I have every one of these. Marie, I have every one of these to the passenger side. Now, I can tell you right now with the way that shoulder feels, I ain't gonna let this thing go last. I can't raise my shoulder up that high. But I'll do what I best I can. Trade off the front shoulders and
Do you want me to?
It was later last year. You can't share that video there. You don't want to have any video with it. You working.
Lifted it up. 355.
Trying to be funny.
You want to switch off? No.
356.
You want to switch off?
Yeah, you can do that. I can't.
I can't hit.
3 years ago in October, this got tore up, and I haven't had surgery on it yet. So,
I've
yeah.
had-
So we're
15 years ago, I had.
We'll switch off. We'll switch
40
off.
years ago, I got bucked off too many times. I can
We'll
carry him.
We'll switch off. We'll switch off.
I've had shoulder surgery as well.
We'll switch off. We'll be all right.
Here. No, he has not had shoulder surgery.
Huh?
Let me help a little bit. I can carry him.
Whoop.
I just cannot stand there and hold him.
Yep.
Like you're doing. Right. Well, the point is so they don't have to lift up. I think.
Are they heavy? We tried to. They figure out about 45 pounds roughly a piece.
361.
Cab of the truck.
Those ones will not go in this carton. I don't know. Might just have to do a carton with them.
Yeah, I think.
So where's he supposed to be going then? Which one?
Denver.
They're going to Denver?
As far as I know. I haven't been told yet.
Well, we didn't know Denver, Chicago, so. Well, evidently the truck driver probably knows where he's supposed to be going, you would think.
How many up with?
34.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
366.
Okay, somebody can take this and I'll grab another box or two.
367.
No, I'm fine. I'll wait.
Try tomorrow. Don't take to the next day. Then.
I was a little sore from yesterday around the middle. Yeah.
369.
So I took some. I didn't take an extra. Even a half of a tablet helps better than nothing.
And here you're supposed to mix ibuprofen with Advil. Or I mean,
I have
Tylenol.
yesterday I had aspirin and that little iron. Because I didn't have it.
That's what they're telling Joni to do. It's a new thing.
Well, I've done it before. Yeah, one helps for the collar, and the other
372.
actually helps for drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that easily. But I do think I probably get one of this person better than I do pub.
373.
All raining and we've got a lot of green.
Yeah. I guess some of that's
376. 377.
And the last little monkey.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, now we gotta load them last ones and the filler. Did you take a picture of the one in that one? The full one?
Not counting
We
this
did
last
when we
one.
came up.
Not
We
counting
wanted the loading of this Eldest Legacy.
There's at least 5,200
Yeah, take a look here.
shoeboxes.
Take a look here with your. I did. Okay.
Plus 150, 150, 150 is 450. So, God, getting
Well, actually, I do need for the last trailer.
So here's where it comes down to the accounting and where Krista and I are staying out of the way. Ha ha ha.
Yep.
But this is this is their workspace
Should just be
that they
blockings
have
on
been
that one.
that they have been using for the last couple of months.
Yeah, and I think
More
that's where
boxes
it
going out the door right now.
Yeah.
14 in each box, and that would be 238. So, or 538. So you put 7 boxes in one of those boxes.
So we are leaving the Atlantic Gospel Chapel. We have unloaded our 517 Gospel Opportunities. Charlie, do you want to say any words about how full those trailers were?
One trailer has 5,803, and the other one has 538.
There were a few that went in a box with our last little stray ones that I showed this morning on the video, and so that's why that number jumps from 517 to 538. And we're working on getting ourselves buckled up, turned around, and yeah, we're just kind of circling the building. I could have kept that on the building the whole time, and it would made it look like the building's massive. I mean, it is good size, but but it made it seem massive.
Well,
anyway, we're headed off now to a hardware store and other things. And Krista's buckling me all in. I feel like I have a mommy. Younger than me. Ta-ta, more later. When Keith Green would encounter someone that thought going to church made them a Christian, he would often say going to McDonald's doesn't make you a hamburger. Well, the two ladies we met in the hardware store really reminded me of that statement. The one who didn't seem to have any church affiliation at all was very interested in and attentive as I spoke about the gospel opportunities that the Shoebox program presents. The other lady that she pointed us to, because that lady is very involved in church, seemed like she could have cared less. It was just kind of a sad commentary on where the church at large is at in their thinking these days. So we made a stop here, and we tried really hard to sow seeds of, hey, are you interested in blessing others? Here's this Operation Christmas Child program that we're very excited about. Actually, Charlie had a great conversation with a lady at Casey's apparently earlier. And then we had a great conversation with a lady here. And she suggested that we talk to another lady on staff. And it was kind of a non-event. She seemed very distracted and very disinterested, and that was just kind of sad. She said, oh yeah, our church does that. When she named off the denomination, I was kind of like, okay, I can kind of see the level of disinterest there. Anyway, we are now off to find some snackage and another restroom and head back for home. Love y'all. Well, what happens next in the journey of a shoebox? Where do all these little gospel opportunities run off to, and how do they get there? Let's take a look and see if we can find out. So this lovely little printout shows us what happens with our shoeboxes, or as Charlie likes to call them, gospel opportunities. I think that's a very fitting title. They have titled this, The Amazing Journey of a Simple Shoebox Gift. Begins with you and results in evangelism, discipleship, and multiplication. Let's take a look at how that happens. So, first of all, individuals can pack shoeboxes, or families can pack shoeboxes, or as we did at New Life, you can do a packing party, which is all kinds of fun. Then from there, those boxes get gathered up and taken to a drop location. See, I think I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So this is another group packing, and they're getting them gathered into boxes or cartons. They're putting the shoe boxes into cartons there. Then collecting. Now, what Charlie and I are doing here at Azelda's Legacy, amongst the other things that we are doing as a ministry here, the OCC part of it is that we are a drop location. So right now there's our church, which is New Life. There's Sheridan, Missouri, Gentry, Missouri, and two places out of Mount Ayr, Iowa, besides some of the fellows that meet at Appleseed, and then just some various individuals that we know that have brought shoeboxes to us here. And I am in the process of applying for a position that I can't quite get the title of it right in my head, but basically I would be coordinating with more churches in the area, so we can see what the increase would be there. We saw a wonderful increase this year in just gospel opportunities that came through our drop location. Then this doesn't show actually taking it to a central drop location, but Atlantic has about 6 different drop locations that all bring them there, and so it's called a central drop location. So it's a bigger version of what we do here, and they actually get them loaded into the truck and sent out. Where do they send them to? They send them to a processing center. What happens at a processing center is wonderful. They go through every box, and if you have already, if you have done your box, have sponsored your box online, that's all fine. Or if you have sent a check directly to them, that's fine. But many people put their funds, whether in check or cash, right into the shoebox. And so they have people there that are responsible and trustworthy and authorized to pull that money out and compile it all for the shipping of those boxes. Then those boxes are gone through completely to make sure there's nothing that will hang that box up at customs, and also to fill it up. If there's any little empty corners, they will fill it up. That gift-in-kind stuff that I was talking about, yeah, they'll use that. Whether it's toothbrushes, whether it's pencils, whatever it is that your particular group had left over and sent on to the processing center, they will use to fill in those little gaps in those boxes. Then it gets back into cartons. Gosh, does that look familiar? That looks like some of the cartons that we had. But they will load them into trucks and will take them off to wherever they're going to get flown or loaded onto a ship. Whatever way they're going to travel to get to the nations where they need to go. So then they get distributed worldwide. They will get sent to over 100 countries where they have already been preparing national leaders so that they have people that speak the language, people that understand the customs, people that know the locals, that can minister to them best. They will take those boxes to them. Now, this shows a truck, but we have seen videos of them getting taken into outback areas on camels, on donkeys, on mopeds, on bicycles, being carried on people's backs, being carried in canoes. They will do whatever they have to do to get it to unreached peoples where they can bless those children. And when they bless those children, and I'll come back and show you a little bit more about this in a minute, some of the materials that they use. But you see this lady here, it looks like she's just handing a shoebox. But before those children are given the shoebox, they are given the gospel. They have the gospel story explained to them. Many of them, for the first time ever, are hearing about the God who made them, the God who loves them, the God who loves them enough that he sent his son to die for them. When those children hear that, many times they have family members that are standing by hearing it, and the materials that they receive sometimes are the only reading materials in the home. They're very colorful, they're well produced. They will take those home and will read those over and over and over again. They, on average, they figure that a shoebox recipient, when there is one child receiving a shoebox, there are 10 people being reached with the gospel. And then that can continue and multiply even further as that child shares what they have come to know about the Lord. But this lady that's leading, she will have a flip chart, or depending on the size of the group, there may be 2 or 3 people standing here with large flip charts so that if there's a large group of children, every one of those children can see. They will do whatever they need to for the amount of kids that are there to be able to see. And we think about flip chart maybe as a little antiquated. We think maybe about it like the flannel graph from, back when I was a little kid. They still used flannel graphs in Sunday school. Some of y'all won't even know what I'm talking about. But here's the thing. If you are going into an area like this, now, maybe you're going someplace pretty modern, but has, suffered war or famine or whatever. I know that they've gone into places like Ukraine. So there are modern conveniences there, but everything is disrupted because of the wars and things that are going on. Now, I'm just using Ukraine for an example. I'm not trying to be political there by any means. But in the midst of whatever politics are driving war and so forth, you have children, you have families, you have people that are dying without Christ. Well, in some of those areas, like I said, it's a little more modern and they've got conveniences and whatnot. But in an area like this, you don't have electrical cables out there every place that you might go. So coming back to this flip chart, all of a sudden flip charts and flannel graphs seem to be really, really practical because you can take them anywhere. You can use them anywhere. They are very well done. I have some photos of one. May try to include it on the tag end of this video. We'll see how far I get with that. I'm needing to get this video out, but I may try to attach that to the end of it just so you can see what the flip charts look like. And I'm going to say that each half of the flip chart is about as big as your average poster board. So think about a poster board with a spiral hinge to hold it to the other piece of poster board for size when you're looking at those. At any rate, this lady or the man, whoever happens to be standing up here explaining the gospel to these children, will be someone that speaks their own language, will be someone that understands them, and so they can reach them in a way that you or I going in there, we might be a novelty, but we would not be able to reach into their lives as well. So this is very well thought out. These people get trained months ahead of time so that they can become ministers of the gospel there. And you can see, another depiction there. And then this is a group of kids that are graduating from a discipleship class. Now I'm going to pause this, lay this aside to get some other materials out and show you those. Okay, so a few things here. When they are given the gospel story, and by story I simply mean account. We think of story, often we think of it as fairy tale, and that's not accurate. The word story simply comes down to this is an account that we are telling. Now, it could be once upon a time in a land far away, which, that'd be a fairy tale. Or it could be, 2,000 years ago, God sent his son to be the Savior of the world. And that, quite frankly, is a story that can be backed up with historical fact, can be cross-checked, etc., etc. So when I use the word story, please don't get me wrong. This is, faithful account of what God did for us. So when the kids are given that presentation, that gospel story, they are handed this. And as I said, sometimes this is the only reading material that is in the home. You can, there's some places that they just don't have really anything like you and I would think of. But you can see how the artwork is very well done and inviting, and it goes through the gospel story maybe not word for word what they had on their flip chart, but it goes through and backs up everything and calls to remembrance everything that they saw that day. And they take that home with them. Now, this says the greatest gift, but it's going to be printed in their own language. The one that is going to be handed to a child somewhere on the other side of the world is going to be printed in their own language. So they come, they have that gospel presentation, they give each child a shoebox, and then those children are invited to come back and join in a discipleship class. And I don't know necessarily all the particulars of that. I know that it's like 12 lessons. They've got a teacher's guide and a greatest journey workbook for the kids as they are learning more, really being discipled and brought up in the gospel so that they can in turn share it with their family, share it with other people. So you see, this really is a gospel opportunity, not just a shoebox full of toys and socks and so forth. So, stay close to Jesus is one of the lessons. And so, you get the children encouraged and share the gospel. There's that lesson. So you get the kids being discipled, not just told, this nice little story and then sayonara, hope you do well in life. They get that. Well, when they get through and again, printed in their own language, when they get through that 12-week discipleship class, I think it's 12 weeks, it's definitely 12 sessions. When they get through that, then they are given a New Testament, and it also has some of the Old Testament in it too. But again, that'll be printed in their own language, and it's colorful. It has illustrations that are eye-catching, that are going to draw young people to actually open it up and read it for themselves, read it for their families, grow in the faith. So really, really, that shoebox becomes a gospel opportunity that leads to kids coming to know the Lord, parents coming to know the Lord. Gospel opportunity. So this is the presentation book, the flip chart that they will use with kids all over the world. The photos the drawings are the same, and then they explain it to them in their own language. So this is the presentation book that they will use when sharing the gospel with the kids. So this is the flip chart that is shown to the kids as they are explaining the gospel to them. And obviously they're starting at the very beginning with creation. And they're going through what God has created here for us. Moving forward through the days of creation. And then showing people in general and how we have become sinful and hurtful to each other. And then moving on into Jesus coming to minister to us. Talking about several different aspects of his ministry years here on this earth. His sacrifice on the cross for our sins. his resurrection, coming to see the disciples. And then what does this mean to us in this day and age? So they give them the full gospel. The whole reason for the season, folks. The last clip I'm going to share has to do with Hebrews 11:4. I pray that like Elizabeth and like Abel, that we can continue to speak the gospel in such a way that it will influence people far beyond our time here.
It's all about Jesus. This came from the Christian church in Mount Ayr, the same one where Elizabeth Ferris went. I'll have to stand back here. I'm told 170. I will count. They had to get going. Elizabeth packed, before she went to be with Jesus, I'm told, 128 of these boxes.
There's a scripture somewhere that talks about the influence of a good man living on beyond their years. Elizabeth is going to take 128 gospel opportunities. Even though she's passed, those opportunities are still sitting right here ready to go to family.